Dear colleagues, I never had to make a presentation at such a distance from the listeners. It's about 9,000 kilometers between Kyiv and Vancouver, but this is distance in space. However, we are united by a great idea, the colonization of the cosmos and the transition of mankind to a new state of cosmic humanity. And in this sense, the distance between us is insignificant. My presentation is called Consciousness and Cosmos. This topic is very ancient, at the same time extremely urgent today. On the scale of modern knowledge, every year more and a more prestigious place is occupied by the idea of the essence of consciousness. The pragmatic aspect of this situation is obvious. Versatile approach to the description of consciousness are necessary for the latest development in the field of high technologies. It's now just about creating smart assistant mechanisms and robots, but about direct intrusion into the human brain in order to expand its capabilities or to correct malfunction resulting from injuries and illnesses. An example of such developments is the company Neuralink launched by Elon Musk. The general ideology of the company is aimed to significantly expanding the capabilities of neurocomputer interfaces. The new industry invades the hidden mechanisms of the brain and enhances their power through symbiosis with a comprehensive virtual reality. The neural network of the brain will receive additional opportunities for communicating with the computer, with other extended brains, and with the information flow and knowledge storage like a cloud. According to the idea of the creators, the computer can become a co-author of a person since it has an unlimited amount of knowledge, and their creative processing is up to the person. The framework of Musk's idea as a whole is aimed at creating a new humanity that will come out into space, colonize Mars, and use the minerals of asteroids. It's the SpaceX project, as you know. In this extended space of life, not only terrestrial, but also cosmic, it's time to look at the phenomenon of consciousness from a new angle. Modern science, especially quantum physics, offers a broad and diverse material on this problem, which I will try to consider briefly. Traditional science practically does not distinguish between the concepts of thinking and consciousness. We proceed from the fact that these are different concepts and propose such working definitions for further elaboration. Thinking is the ability to perceive, store, and process knowledge, which is part of the complex research of psychology, neurophysiology, and cognitive sciences. In designing artificial intelligence systems, only thinking is modeled. Consciousness is not, never not. Consciousness is, in modern science, increasingly seen as a hypothetical field, as a fundamental entity along the matter and energy. In this way, consciousness claims a special cosmic role. If we try to find in science during the 19th to 21st centuries the invariant idea about the nature of consciousness, it will eventually be reduced to one basic statement. Consciousness is one of the basic essence of the universe. Among the scientists involved in this topic are such names as Thomas Huxley, biologist, Vladimir Vernadsky, the creator of the theory of the biosphere transition to the noosphere. Valentin Voynets-Senetsky is a surgeon, a theologian, professor, archbishop. David Bohm is an expert in quantum physics, philosophy, and psychiatry, psychology. David Chalmers is the author of books on the philosophy and consciousness. Stanislav Grof is a psychologist, one of the founders of transpersonal psychology. John Carey Eccles is a neuropsychologist, Nobel Prize winner. Paul Davies is an expert in the field of quantum theory, a cosmologist and astrobiologist. Roger Penrose is a physicist, theorist of quantum consciousness. The list can be considerably continued. How could we scheme of the expanded paradigm of knowledge in which consciousness be included look? I propose this possible option. Here, each essence of the visible material world is represented by an analog in an invisible, intangible world. Consciousness is a link between the two worlds. So, the idea of expansion of the paradigm of knowledge is gradually emerging and being justified. In its basic concepts, it's necessary to introduce a new fundamental essence, consciousness. Indeed, we are living in a very interesting time. Before our eyes, there is a revolution in understanding of the whole creation. Postulates about consciousness and the world of thought cross the boundaries of psychology, neurophysiology, and philosophy and enter the territory of physics. But here there is an insurmountable difficulty. Consciousness cannot be modeled in principle by any computational procedure. It is not algorithmic. In addition, consciousness does not belong directly to observable, visible objects. Nevertheless, physicists, using the apparatus of quantum theory, try to approach the understanding of thinking. The main ideas of this area were developed by physicists in close contact with psychiatrists or biologists. Here are two such unions. Physicist Roger Penrose and nanobiologist Stuart Hameroff justified the hypothesis of quantum consciousness. In the structure of brain neurons, quantum life takes place. The transition from the quantum state to the classic one is the moment of consciousness. The physicist David Bohm proposed and justified the hypothesis about the holographic structure of the universe. The same idea was simultaneously developed by the neurophysiologist Karl Pribram, with reference to the languages of the brain. This is his very famous book, Languages of the Brain. David Bohm introduced the concept of an universe hidden reality. This is a deep reality. The invisible reality lurks behind the familiar world around us. it generates and organizes it. How can you observe such a dual world? The explanation is offered by the holographic theory of a single universe. The universe is somehow present in a collapsed form in each of its parts, and each part represents the universe as a whole. This statement is the key to understanding the essence of the holographic concept. Particularly important is the deep level of the reality that Bohm likens to the information field that permeates all space and time. In the concepts of modern physics, the idea of the parallel existence of the world of the visible and the invisible is constantly emerging. David Bohm mentions a deep reality and our visible world. Sir Roger Penrose, in the ideal world of Plato, writes about the world of philosophical representation of ideas, the absolute and mathematical truths. In popular string theory, called spatial dimensions, and consciousness dwells in the invisible space, which is associated with the quantum. But what caused the Big Bang? What was at the 0 point before time came? Paul Davies, a British physicist, cosmologist, astrobiologist, specialist of quantum field theory, offers an answer to this question. In his book Superforce, he paints a picture of universe which is controlled by a single superpower. All interactions known to us are only different manifestations of superforce. Its power is so great that it allows us to create our universe and gives it a harmonious structure where the macro and micro world form a common system. The coherence of all parts of the universe is evidence of the reasonableness of the origin design. From the concept of Paul Davies, in particular, it follows that before the Big Bang, there was something that gave birth to it. The universe originated from empty space out of nothing, but from the viewpoint of quantum physics, such emptiness is not at all empty and not passive. There is nothing tangible in it, but quantum energy resides there. The hypothesis of the physicist David can claim the theory of everything.